Fox, Skip Baylees, and others sued on 14 counts, including sexual battery. You guys, it is the lawsuit that has taken over the internet, so let's talk about it. What's up, you guys? I'm Rachel DeMita, and welcome to the Courtside Club. I am finally back in my home studio, and it honestly feels so good to be back in the USA. And also, you guys, just a quick update on Radmas. So just yesterday, I was able to make donations to animal shelters here in Texas using the earnings that we made on those Radmas videos. And you guys, we were able to donate so much food, supplies, litter boxes, dog leashes, all of the things. I'm going to be making a community post telling you guys exactly what we bought, but we were able to donate so many things. And honestly, you guys, I'm just so grateful for the views, the likes, the comments, all of those went to a great cause. So thank you guys so much for that. And we will definitely be doing more things where we can donate because that was really cool. So jumping into today's video, you guys, I'm sure that you have seen all of the discourse online. We are going to go over it today. But essentially, you guys, a former Fox Sports hairstylist alleges in a lawsuit that a network executive used his position to sexually harass women, as well as that Skip Baylees touched her inappropriately and propositioned her for sex. Noushin Faraji, who says she worked at Fox Sports from 2012 through last August, made a series of allegations in the 42-page lawsuit obtained by Front Office Sports. Fox, Fox Sports, FS1, FS2, Fox Sports EVP Charlie Dixon, Skip Baylees, and FS1 host Joy Taylor are listed as defendants in the lawsuit. The lawsuit says Ms. Faraji brings forth this action because for over a decade at Fox, she was forced to endure a misogynistic, racist, ableist workplace where executives and talent were allowed to physically and verbally abuse workers with impunity. When Ms. Faraji and others came forward to report the wrongdoing, instead of addressing their concerns, Fox retaliated against them while the perpetrators and those who protected them were inexplicably promoted. This case thus represents yet another in a long line of cases chronicling the toxic culture at Fox, marked by bad faith promises and repeated failures to address a poisonous and entrenched patriarchy. That was a mouthful. So far, you guys, we have not heard from any of these people about any of these allegations. We have not heard from Skip Baylees. We have not heard from Fox. The only thing that Fox said was that we take these allegations seriously and have no further comment at this time given this pending litigation. So haven't heard from Skip, haven't heard from Fox, haven't heard from Charlie Dixon, and have not heard from Joy Taylor. I don't know any of these people involved, and it's not my place to sit here and be like, oh, they're guilty, or they for sure did this, or it seems like this. It's innocent until proven guilty in my book, but these are things that are going on. Now, where I think I can chime in is the fact that, unfortunately, none of this stuff surprises me. And none of this stuff surprises me because I have been in this industry for over 10 years. And unfortunately, I've seen a lot of things like this. So whether this stuff is true, whether this stuff is false, it wouldn't surprise me if literally everything in here is true. I also don't think all of this stuff is just contained to Hollywood. I think that this is a society thing. This is a man and woman thing. I think that this happens in many industries. However, it's highlighted in Hollywood because people are forward-facing figures. I don't want to just come on here and gossip and say I absolutely think Skip Baylees was doing this and Joy Taylor was doing this and Charlie Dixon was doing this. I don't know. It's not my place to say that. But I will say that there is this sort of, what do we call it? There is a weird power dynamic in Hollywood that happens often, and I don't know truly if there's any fixing it. I don't know if it will ever be fixed, but I do think that it starts with women. And so maybe if you're watching this video and you have daughters, you have sisters, you have anybody who wants to be in this industry, in television, in any sort of Hollywood industry, or honestly, in any industry at all where they want to become successful and need to work their way up, there are men that they will encounter that will be situations like this that maybe if they're able to learn what to look out for, they really can navigate it in the right way and kind of choose their path. So for me, I want to tell you guys like a couple of stories that happened with me early on in my career where I was able to fortunately see some of this stuff before I got too involved with anything. So firstly, this is probably like, I was maybe like 23 or 24 at the time, and I was doing a lot of work with different brands like Nike, Adidas, all of those like sporting brands before I got into hosting. Like, for backstory, you guys, I played basketball in college and then I transferred to American University. I studied broadcast journalism there, and I also studied performing arts. I always knew that I wanted to be a host. I didn't know what lane I wanted to go into. I thought I wanted to go into entertainment and ended up switching and kind of going back into sports, which I love. And from there, got internships. I got an internship at Entertainment Tonight. I did an internship at the morning news in Washington, D.C., where I was waking up at like 3:30 every morning. But anyway, I have like studied this and been in this. Now, after I graduated college, I moved to Los Angeles because, like I said, I thought I wanted to go into entertainment hosting, and I had already spent a few months there interning at Entertainment Tonight. So I moved to Los Angeles, and when I knew that I wanted to kind of switch from entertainment and go back into sports, I was working with a lot of the sports brands, and a lot of the things that I was doing was interviewing some professional athletes. Anyway, there was a brand where I did an interview with one of their athletes for their shoe launch. Now, the person who was working at this brand that I had been working closely with, he started talking to me on the side and saying, like, I think that there might be a bigger deal to be had with you personally. Like, maybe we can come up with something where, you know, you kind of get a deal with our brand also. Me being like young in my career, I was like, oh, this is really cool. And so this person invites me to their headquarters to have a meeting, talk about how this could be structured. He's like, oh, we could, you know, do a little collection for you, or we could figure out how to make this a thing. And I'm excited about that, right? Like, I'm young, I'm in my 20s, and a goal of mine was always to have some sort of like exclusive deal with a big sporting brand. Luckily, years later, I did get one with Adidas where I was exclusive with Adidas for 3 years. So long story short, this executive is inviting me to come meet at their headquarters. He's like, we'll do a tour of headquarters, we'll have a meeting, we'll get all this sorted out. So I'm like, great, fine. Fast forward to the morning of, this executive texts me and he said, hey, why don't you bring your swimsuit? We will go out on the lake. I guess there was like a lake or something around this headquarters. He's like, we'll go out on the lake and go, I don't know if it was like paddleboarding or boating or something. He's like, bring your swimsuit. We'll do that first, and then we can have lunch and discuss. I'm like, So this went from having a meeting at corporate headquarters to going paddleboarding on a lake and lunch. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't even know if the lake was actually on headquarters or if it was not there. Like, I immediately felt like, I don't think I feel comfortable doing a meeting in a swimsuit the first time when I'm supposed to be speaking business with someone. You know, like, the outfit I had planned was a business outfit, not a swimsuit. And so I thought about it for a second and literally text the man back, and I was like, I forget exactly what I said, but it was along the lines of, I don't feel comfortable going out on the lake. Could we just keep it to the original plan of meeting at HQ and whatever? You would think if this person didn't have any bad intentions or intentions beyond just doing business with me, you would think that they would have no issue with that. But the response that I got in return was very much, it was kind of threatening. It was, oh, so you're saying like you don't want to meet now? Like, I thought you would like this experience. This is a great experience that I'm offering. Like, this lake is whatever and this and that. And I just remember saying like, no, I'm so sorry. Like, you know, if your heart's stuck on doing that though, and you know, maybe we can just meet on another day. And when I tell you that I was met with anger, and it went into a long rant of this person responding like, I don't think you understand the type of opportunity that you're missing out on. You know, we're trying to do all of this for you, and you're just gonna cancel the day of. You know, looking back on it, obviously this person was inviting me out for reasons other than helping me to get a deal with this company. And in these moments also, you guys, it just shows you the opportunity that young women have, that that these opportunities will always be there, I guess is what I'm saying. And that's why, getting back to the beginning of this video, I don't truly know if this power dynamic shuffle between men and women will ever be fixed, if there will ever be a time where men won't expect more from women in the workplace, and especially in Hollywood, or if women won't take those opportunities when they present themselves. The fact is that a lot of times you do get ahead by taking some of these offers, and not even to the fact where you have to even have a relationship or do sexual things with the men that are making these offers. Sometimes it even just is having an intimate dinner. And if you're a man and you want to get to a place in the industry where you do have power and money and you are able to provide things for women because your goal is to just be with pretty women and have power over that, there will also always be opportunities for men to do that. Sorry, my camera just stopped recording automatically, which I think is probably my cue to like get on with it. This video is probably much longer than it needs to be, but I do feel like some of these stories, whether they're true or not, just the overarching what goes on in this industry is something that maybe deserves a little bit more light shined on it. And you guys are all entitled to your opinions as well, whether you think it's morally correct, whether you think that there's anything that could be changed about it. If you think it's not that big of a deal, if it is that big of a deal, like there are people, even Dave Portnoy went on Twitter today and was like, none of this is a big deal. I don't even know why this is a lawsuit. Who cares who's sleeping with who? It's like, you're also entitled to that opinion. As a woman in this industry, and I get asked many times, even when I do go on different podcasts and stuff, a big question that people always ask me is, what is it like being a woman in sports? And I always say, I think that there's so much opportunity for women in sports. One, because we stand out. There are less women in sports. If you know how to handle yourself, there really isn't that much downfall to being a woman in sports. I do think, and I do know that I need to know my stuff. I need to be on top of my game because there is more scrutiny for women with women who talk about sports. There are a lot of men who watch sports that simply don't want to hear a woman's opinion on sports. And I'm very aware of that. And that's just a reality. So for myself, I don't make excuses about that. I just make sure that I'm well prepared. I make sure that my content is good. If I'm hosting, if I'm interviewing, if I'm doing all of those things, I just make sure that I'm well prepared for that. And if I'm able to add value to the sports discussion, then I have a leg up on my competition because I do stand out being a woman. There are things that women benefit from being on television. And a lot of times it is like a lot of pretty women in sports. That is definitely a thing. And that is something that you benefit from. And I think that that's a fact. I think we can be okay with just saying that that's a truth. One last quick story, something that I experienced, and it actually wasn't so long ago, but a company that I was working for, creatively, we had a lot of differences. And I remember one of their content ideas that they wanted me to do was to like move into a content house, essentially like a content house. But it was basically all guys. There were no girls living in this content house. And I did not like this idea. I was like, okay, weird, but what's the purpose? And I remember, and this person is like one of the highest up at this company. He said, our audience thinks below the belt, so we have to give them what they want. And I probably visibly there, I wish there was some sort of like security camera or something on the wall because I think my jaw was like to the ground. I'm sure that people say this kind of stuff behind closed doors, but to have him say it straight to my face. And I knew from that day, and my partnership with this company didn't last much longer than that because he basically said exactly what he thought of me. And unfortunately, I think of myself as much higher quality than that. And I don't think of myself as only somebody who just has a pretty face to offer, or just myself being a woman is what I'm offering. I work way too hard to think that that is the only thing that I offer. But when he told me that, I was like, okay, well, if that's how you feel about me, then I probably need to not stay here very much longer. And that I didn't. You will find out very quickly in this industry, or probably in most industries, that there will be slimy men, there will be slimy women, there will be fake people. And if you're able to pick up on the cues before you get to a situation where it becomes so sticky, like think about the first story that I told. If I had just been like, oh, they just want to do something nice for me, could you imagine myself being in a swimsuit out on the water with somebody who turned on me so very quickly and got so angry? Like, I don't know what kind of situation I could have gotten myself in. And again, I was very young at the time, like new to the industry, naive to the industry, but I feel lucky that I was able to recognize the situation before it got to that point. And I think that that is a decision that if you're in this industry, you will have to make it at some point. So I hope that some of that made sense. I hope my stories just shed a little bit of light and also just shed different ways to go about the industry. I think that we're also in just such a fantastic time of the internet where anybody can be a creator. Like the fact that I'm able to do Courtside Club alone, solo, not working with ESPN like I was. Like, this is nothing against ESPN. I didn't experience these types of things with them. But I'm saying, like, the fact that I'm able to do my own show on my own, create it, and so many people don't have to rely on working for these big companies. So if you do experience things like that and you're not able to work in an environment that you feel is like morally right, or there's too much going on, you do have that option to kind of step away and be that creator on your own. I think that it's such a great time in the world to have opportunities like that. Also, I do want to say that there are also so many incredible people in this industry and so many incredible people that I've worked with. There is still such a level of professionalism in this industry. So it's definitely not everyone. And I don't want to blanket it and saying like everyone in Hollywood sucks, everyone in sports sucks. No, there are some incredible people that are incredibly professional. And those are the people that I continue to work with, that I continue to praise, that I would consider friends of mine, colleagues of mine. Again, you guys, at this point, I'm just rambling. I don't think that this is going to be the last that we will hear of this lawsuit. I will be so interested to see if anybody comes out and tells their side of the story. If it's false, if it's all proven false, I'll make a follow-up video if we find out more. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Of course, thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it. Click that little subscribe button because we upload new videos every single week. And with that, we're gonna end it there. That wasn't even a rant. That was a ramble. That was a rad ramble. That was a lot. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ooh,